Do you ever feel like your mind just won't stop? You replay conversations, you imagine worst-case scenarios, you analyze decisions again and again until you feel mentally exhausted. And even when nothing is actually wrong, your mind creates problems. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is uncontrolled mental energy. Thousands of years ago, the Bhagavad-gītā explained exactly why this happens and how to stop it. Most people think overthinking is caused by stress, social media, or modern life. But the Gita reveals something deeper. The problem is not your circumstances. The problem is an uncontrolled mind. In chapter 6, Arjuna admits something very honest. He says the mind is restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate, and controlling it feels more difficult than controlling the wind. Even a warrior like Arjuna struggled with his thoughts. So if you feel distracted, anxious, or mentally overwhelmed, you are not weak, you are human. In chapter 6, Krishna explains something powerful. The mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. If it is controlled, it becomes your ally. If uncontrolled, it becomes your destroyer. Overthinking happens when the mind runs toward imagined futures, clings to past events, and identifies with every thought that appears. We assume every thought is true. We assume every fear is valid. But the Gita teaches that you are not the mind. You are the observer of the mind. The real self is higher than thoughts, higher than emotions, higher than mental noise. The mind is a tool, but most of us have handed the tool control over our lives. Why does the mind overthink? Krishna explains that the mind follows attachment. Where there is attachment, there is fear. Where there is fear, there is anxiety. And where there is anxiety, there is mental disturbance. If you are deeply attached to outcomes, approval, success, relationships, or control, your mind will constantly calculate possibilities. What if I fail? What if they judge me? What if I lose this opportunity? What if this goes wrong? Overthinking is often fear of losing what we are attached to. The more tightly we grip outcomes, the more violently the mind reacts. This is why detachment is not coldness, it is freedom. Detachment means you do your duty, you give your effort, but you release the obsession with controlling the result. Krishna gives two clear solutions for mastering the mind: practice and detachment. Practice means daily training. Just like you train a muscle, you train attention. Meditation, mantra, chanting, focused breathing, reading spiritual wisdom, and conscious self-discipline strengthen the mind gradually, not once in a while. Not only when you feel inspired, daily, even when it feels boring, even when it feels difficult. That repetition builds stability. Detachment means that whenever the mind wanders, you calmly bring it back. Krishna says that from wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering nature, one must bring it back under control. Notice he does not say to violently suppress the mind or hate it. He says bring it back, again and again, gently but firmly. This is discipline. You will fail many times. The mind will wander 1,000 times, but the victory is in returning it 1,001 times. Here is the deeper realization. You cannot stop thoughts from appearing, but you can stop feeding them. Overthinking survives on attention. The more you wrestle with thoughts, the stronger they become. The more you analyze them, the more they multiply. Instead of fighting thoughts, observe them. Let them pass like clouds. Then redirect your focus to something higher. When the mind has no higher focus, it creates its own dramas. But when it is anchored in purpose, service, and spiritual awareness, it gradually becomes peaceful. Your mind is not your enemy, but it must be trained. If you do not control your mind, it will control you. Overthinking is not solved by more thinking. It is solved by discipline, detachment, and steady spiritual grounding. The real battlefield is not outside in the world. It is inside, between you and your own restless mind. And the victory begins the moment you decide to take back control.